Welcome, everyone. We'd like to thank you for joining us today for another installment of our monthly TCN educational webinars. Each month, we try to cover the most important subject matter that will benefit you with your use of the TCN product. In today's webinar, the entire focus will be on the new business intelligence analytics tool that we call competitive analytics. In previous webinars, we have mentioned that it was coming and have given a brief overview of what it will do, but today we're ready to reveal the whole product to you. We will show you how powerful it is and how to immediately save you time and money in your daily operations. Today's presentation will be given by Dave Beathers. Dave has been with TCN for over 10 years now and is a resident analytics expert. He has a master's in instructional technology and has an uncanny ability to really dig deep into a company's operational numbers and discover key indicators that help them make decisions based on real numbers and find areas where you're going to be able to improve. As usual, we will take questions at the end of the presentation. Throughout the webinar, you can submit those questions to me by email to bryce.payne@tcnp3, that's bryce.payne@tcnp3.com. You should be able to see that in your chat section of your webinar tool as well. The email, we are very excited to be able to offer this new product to you because we know how much time it's going to save those of you that spend hours building reports. I've heard from a lot of you, and there's already an excitement of knowing that it's going to save you time. I will go ahead and turn the time over to Dave. Don't forget to email me with any questions, and we'll at the end of the presentation. Dave?
Hey, thank you so much, Bryce. I'm so pleased to be here at this time. You know, I think I've had a chance to do a few of these webinars. I've enjoyed them quite a bit. This is one that we've been anxiously looking forward to. We're at the very tail end with actually starting to work with selective clients right now on some of their data, just to make sure we've got the final polish on the product as we want it to roll out. And I just couldn't be more pleased with the product that our development team is releasing and what it's going to be able to do for you. I think one of the biggest things I'm looking forward to is I've noticed in many of the individuals that have signed on to this webinar are individuals that I've had the pleasure of working with in the past with you and your organizations as TCN clients. And that's truly where I love to be, is working hand in hand with you to better your business. And that's really the focus of what we're going to show you today. There is so much with TCN that is technology, cutting edge technology, industry leading technology, advancements and speed and power, but that is only half the product. We really are who we are because of our people and interacting together with you. And I think that's going to be very apparent as we go forward in this presentation. So once again, welcome. We're very excited to talk about business intelligence, and specifically, in this case, the need for business intelligence in today's environment. Now, I want to introduce you to an individual that you can probably relate to very, very closely. This happens to be Miss Jane Smith. She just happens to be the executive operations director of a major call center. Now, Jane is very data driven. She's the very first one to vet any challenges or issues that face the organization or the company, even her staff. She is an information hound, and she absolutely does not take the words "I don't know" as an acceptable answer to anything. Jane has come up through the ranks of the company. She has been there and done that, and because of that, she happens to be a little too eager sometimes just to get the job done herself, because if she does it herself, it's going to get done right and on time. Now, I'm sure many of you can relate to that. That might fit your MO as well. Now, her mission and duties, let's talk about those for a minute. See if they apply to you as well. Direct oversight for the execution and the ongoing evaluation of the strategic corporate plan. That's her first priority. In order to accomplish that, of course, as a call center, she's going to focus on maximizing agent performance. And then thirdly, where are we without a client or a product? So her third role, her third mission is to ensure client and company production and deliverables. Are we producing, and are those being delivered? Basically, Jane's job is to make it happen at the call center. Now, Ms. Smith does happen to have some frequent pains, as you can tell by her posture. Let's talk about some of those pain points. Common pain points, and we're gonna focus specifically on data pain points. Common data pain points that she has and that you may relate to are a lack of visibility. Sometimes she has delayed metrics, even flawed metrics. When she tries to find out what's happening, why isn't performance happening? Sometimes she's faced with ambiguous causes of low performance, inconsistent delivery of reports, or inconsistent reports themselves. Many of these deficiencies can leave her with blind spots, where she has no idea just how efficient or how inefficient her company and her team members are being. Data delays, lack of investigation tools, even perhaps she's tasked, and who isn't looking at lack of IT or delays with IT and analytical staff resources. These are just some of the pain points that she might be dealing with. And for Ms. Smith, instead of long walks on the beach, she often finds that due to these pain points, she's working at least 10-hour days, 6 days a week, and more often than not, the executive management duties that she was hired to do are sidelined due to the current data or a client emergency. Because after all, in the end, it's her head and her reputation on the line. So if there's a need and it's not getting done, she might as well do it herself, even if that takes extra additional time. Now, does that sound familiar? I'm sure that many of us here on this phone could relate to this. In the past, in many situations you found yourself. These big data points can even be far too common among even TCN clients. Even though TCN clients are on the best inbound and outbound call center platform in the world, due to exporting data and then attempting to analyze it, we find that our clients obviously have a critical need, but we also know that we could do something to meet that need. Hence, we decided business intelligence is the optimal solution, the optimal product to pair with our industry-leading call center platform. Strategic access to big data is given to our clients, and we need to give this to our clients so that you have the ability to identify desirable or undesirable results so that you can investigate cause and effect, for that matter, so that you can demonstrate or predict outcomes, whether that's to your own staff, to superiors, to your clients, and then so that you can design and implement any course corrections that are needed. And obviously, throughout all of this, what good is it to perform any of these tasks if you can't evaluate, change management, and monitor the prescription that you applied to see how it takes. Now, when we take the best inbound and outbound call center platform and add not just business intelligence, because I want to make this very, very clear. TCN is not just, with this product, we haven't just gone out and farmed out or hired a Domo or anybody else out there that's even trying to play with business intelligence right now. We haven't gone out and brought out an external solution and bolted it onto the TCN platform. Our designers that are proven, our engineers that are proven with their capabilities and their performance on being nimble, flexible, reliable, available with the uptime and upkeep, and rolling out the feature sets consistently, those same engineers, a different division of them, have produced this tool basically from the ground up. The biggest benefit this provides is that word right there, direct access business intelligence. This truly is the game changer, and I'll explain why in a minute. But the basic underlying premise is that when you have business intelligence that is built into the call center platform, no longer do you need to export data. No longer do you need to have data transfer. No longer do you need to have individuals that translate that data from one application to another. Definitions, interpretations, even different database languages. None of that's required. Obviously, that reduces staff requirements. And then additionally, as we're going to get into, you're going to see how this eliminates all the staff hours and the man hours that are required for what's commonly happening at this time in your own call centers, which is somebody gets a data dump on a daily basis, and then they spend the next so many hours working and massaging that data and other reports together into something that's recognizable and helpful for you to make business decisions with. So with TCN's direct access to the database, that means no delay in the analytics. And this equals these main points that I just want to talk about. And if you can imagine, if any of these are points of failure or pain points that you're dealing with now, if you can imagine having analytical data that you can make business decisions with, strategy changes with, course corrections, agent scoring, and the like, it has to be on time. So here are the clear competitive advantages that with TCN's business intelligence, we're going to extend to you on the same platform that you're currently associated with. Timeliness of analytics and deliverables. Not just the reports that your management deals with, not just the dashboards that your management deals with or your tactical users, but even your end clients and new clients that you bring on. Those are some of the deliverables that I'm talking about. A whole new level of course, accuracy is so critical. If you can eliminate human intervention, human man hours, where they're trying to crunch that data, export the data, and apply formulas in Excel, if that can all be eliminated, and you have pre-configured reports and dashboards and insights and analytics that have the data there available on demand, the accuracy is tremendous. Now, when we talk about differentiators, I want to talk about the things that you're going to see here shortly, and some of you have already seen glimpses of, but this should bring a whole new level of professionalism to your business with your client interactions, with your management decisions, with your staff, especially your call center staff, The accountability of your call center staff with these metrics is just phenomenal. And all of these together will give you a clear competitive differentiator to set your business apart from the other competition that's out there. To our knowledge, and we've been looking at this for a long time, again, no one that I know of is offering direct access to business intelligence on the same platform. And that level of granularity, that level of both macro and micro analytical detail is just it's just without comparison at this time. And again, you can tell I'm so excited about this, but I'll try and contain myself. The last point there, just the best appropriation of your dedicated staff. So what I mean by that is, with business intelligence, this truly allows you to monitor and evaluate and study all of your resources. Not only does it reduce the amount of IT staff time that you need to transmit data back and forth and to crunch numbers, but once again, your most important resource as a call center are your agents. And again, the level of scoring and capabilities to identify underperforming agents or to identify agents that perhaps may be busy and working as hard as they can, but are just not able to close and accomplish that definition of success that you specifically have for them. That's how we can use business intelligence to really get that dedicated staff efficient and effective. TCN business intelligence can be completely disruptive in a good way of how you conduct and distinguish your business from the competition. Again, direct access to business intelligence without delays, without extra staff, and without exorbitant costs will guide your business to a higher level. Now, as we get into this, I'm going to show you different aspects of this. Obviously, we've talked about getting rid of the spreadsheets to some extent, the streamlined reporting, real-time access. We're going to get right into this, but just realize at the least, somebody within your organization is going to have at least half of their time freed up with TCN's business intelligence. Because they're right now, today, they're spending their time in Excel or on Crystal reports or in an Access database trying to crunch the reports that are demanded by the client, by the management, by the senior executives. So right out of the gates, TCN's business intelligence is going to save you anywhere from $15,000 to $40,000 annually. That's just a trivial amount as compared to the other savings, the other allocations of resources that we can help save. So let's kind of get into that. But please remember that you can only improve what you can see and measure. So our competitive analytics is going to give you the business intelligence insights to allow you to see, measure, and improve how you run your call center. So let's get into the demonstrations of it a little bit here. I'm going to pull this up, this window right here. These, as you can see, this is just ran completely in a browser. On TCN P3, at the top of the P3 page, you're going to have these additional menu options that are going to appear over the next 2 to 3 weeks on your individual accounts. Now, there are a couple components to this that I'll talk about right now. What you're looking at right now is an example of a dashboard. A dashboard is a compilation of several insights, individual insights. So this map of the United States is an individual insight. This map of Canada is an individual insight, and the provinces and the calls that are being placed in each province. So you have heat maps, you have pie charts, you have bar and column charts, as well as graphs. So there's lots of different ways to present information. Now, as we've been working on this for well over a year now, and as we've been working with our clients previously, many of the lessons learned as far as what our clients needed to perform their duties and responsibilities were absolutely applied in this process. This is not just a glorified reporting tool. However, I'll be honest, the eye candy is very good. Looking at the dashboards, looking at the reports, you have a full complement of reporting tools at your disposal. If you want to export a pie chart as an image, you can do so. If you want to export a certain insight, in this case a graph, if you want to export that, you have options to save that as well. So those tools are huge time savers for those of you that need to produce deliverables for your clients in order to demonstrate your effectiveness and your efficiency and your proficiency in doing your job for that client, as well as your monthly, weekly, and daily reports are going to be much simplified in this process. The abilities you have here, and I'll just back up, I got a little ahead of myself. Our framework is basically you have various dashboards. You can have several dashboards, and in fact, TCN is going to provide you with several best practice dashboards that contain various insights that have been commonly requested by our clients. Many of you have actually reached out to our client services team for support in building and configuring and customizing several personalized dashboards, or personalized reports for you to accomplish your daily tasks. Over the years, there has been some frustration that the current framework of our Platform 3 doesn't allow you to combine on one page things like your total outbound calls and your total inbound calls on a campaign level. Well, business intelligence allows that. Or perhaps it doesn't allow you to see on one page your history of your agent wait time versus your average abandon rate. Well, that's what business intelligence does. So we've really we have heard our clients, and as some of you know, you have requested many features over the years that at times, TCN is the best in the industry at responding to those feature requests, but even TCN at times have told you as clients that, we just can't do that right now. And if I remember and think back of all the requests that I know of in the different prioritization of the feature requests of our clients, I would have to say that at least 90%, if not 95% of the feature requests that we've received maybe in the past year or 2 years will be resolved and delivered by having business intelligence for our clients. So that's a very strong statement, but I'm super excited to the capabilities and framework that we have. So once again, this is an example of a dashboard with several insights. Now, as you can see, these insights can be very interactive. I can mouse over them and they give me additional information. I have zoom capabilities. I can export. Over here, let's get into this. You can see that there's different presentations of data. Maybe I'm looking at call frequencies. Perhaps I'm looking at a tally of results that are available. Perhaps I'm looking at various dispositions of calls over days. Well, an incredible tool is our site when it comes to business intelligence and analyzing trends and patterns. Vision is so critical and so helpful in identifying anomalies, patterns, dips, things that are just unexpected. So if I want to say, if I notice this trend and I can see that our general average is somewhere in here at this mark, And over here, we're at this mark, and I want to see, well, what happened in this range? Then I can just zoom in. Now, please understand that this is an incredible amount of data. As you can see up here, this is the last 30 days. This is the current date range that I have selected, but this is the last 30 days of data for a particular client that I'm looking at. And this shows the individual calls during that period of time. So during the noon time period till the 6 o'clock time period, this is showing a call tally over the past 30 days. So, and if you notice, it takes mere seconds to refresh that data and to zoom in to very specific sections of data to investigate additional information. Now, another feature, another ability that you have at your disposal is especially on the charts and the graphs that I love, is that you can be selective of the information you want to display. So I may not care about invalids because they don't cost me anything to dial as a TCN client. So I'm going to deselect that, and that gives me better clarity in the data set that I'm looking at. So I can come in here and zoom in and zoom in again and zoom in again and zoom in again to the point to where I can see my link calls, I can see my busies, and I can see my no answers. And just I tend, as you know, I tend to get a little excited, but there's additional benefits. I can even drill in further. If I want to go from a dashboard directly into an insight so that I can see it better and work with it, the data even better, I have that flexibility and that luxury. So here I go in, I drop the information that I don't want to see. I don't want to see anything that's not costing me any money. So maybe I just want to look at my link calls. In fact, I want to go in and change this insight and this and to just remove the invalids as an option on my dashboard. I just don't even want it to show up. So I have that flexibility, I have that luxury now. You can see that just by doing that, I've dropped those options off of my dashboard. We're going to get into a couple of discussions about packages that are offered. There's going to be two main packages offered for TCN, but both packages should be able to offer the ability to display or not display certain items, not only on graphs, as you see here, and charts, but if you want to see that same information in a spreadsheet, it just took me one click of the mouse button to show that. So I can see my daily totals, my daily tallies here, and I can even choose to display or not display certain information. So it's just phenomenal what is available at your fingertips and how easy this is going to make it for you to quickly amass very good information, amass patterns and trends and anomalies from your big data that previously was just so large and so complex that by the time that you downloaded exports and had 5 different Excel pages open and tried to combine it into one spreadsheet, you forgot what you were doing. So that really is a huge advantage to give you the speed to modify and to investigate on your own. So you may find a trend or a pattern that you want to look deeper into, and then, you know, I know that this is going to be getting deep fast, and I just want you to know that it can be very simple, but if there's some data geeks out there, just know that you can modify your own formulas, your own reports if you want to. So the beauty of TCN, again, is that direct access. So in TCN, we have direct access to the various reporting tools at your disposal. So let's just say that I want another statistic. All it takes is dropping down, scrolling through, and choosing that data point that I want to display, and I can choose to display that in the same in place of this column, or I can add additional columns. I can duplicate columns and then quickly modify. I can add color schemes to my charts and my graphs so that I can have consistency with the specific KPI that I want to track and want to maintain. So you may have 3 or 4 different versions of pie charts, and you may want right party contacts to always be green. Well, that's easily accomplished with our tool and our utility. So there's quite a bit of functionality, sort capabilities, multiple sort capabilities, multiple filter capabilities. The filtering is quite phenomenal as well, as you can see here, where I can choose certain criteria and I can have groups of filters, so I can be very specific with the data set and the data points that I want to get into. Now, let me be clear, this is the pro version of business intelligence that we're going to offer. And the main reason we're offering a pro version is so that you get the assistance in the hand-holding from TCN, from basically myself and my team, to get you up and running and get you the data that you need and the metrics that you need specifically out the door, and then have the hand-holding with business intelligence going forward. One of the biggest faults of big data out in the world right now, besides the NSA, is that you don't really, as a client, to go out and hire somebody to do big data for you and data mining. You have to educate them about your business. That's one of the biggest challenges. And again, remember the direct access to the data. If you have access to the data, then it just simply becomes TCN or my team's responsibility to teach you or to configure the tool for you to access the data that is yours and that you want to reach. We do that with consulting. You're the expert in your business and your operations. We're the expert in the dialer and in the business intelligence tool. So together we can execute and give you the tools that will help you run your business. I know I got deep fast with some of the functionality in the tool set here, but it really is fun. Very fun to get in and play with and to manipulate and to come up with the formulas that you need specifically for the data that you're trying to see and the insights that you're trying to see and the hypothesis that you're trying to see. If you're trying to see, well, what happens with our wait time? If our wait time goes up, how does that affect our agent's occupancy? Well, you're able to build the science experiment, to say in one way, that you can see the results firsthand. So I'm going to back up here and go back to our dashboard. And as you can see, it's as simple as that to get back to your dashboard with your data. I want to focus in on a couple of things just to highlight them very quickly. You can see here that we have date ranges, or either quick reference date ranges or relative date ranges or absolute dates that you can select your data set. Now our system is a very, very powerful engine for business intelligence. It's not a trivial thing to amass millions and millions of calls and data and collect that data and store that data and access that data within seconds, as you see here. But our tool will allow you to have comparative data up to a year and even longer if the need arise, where you can have that data on demand for up to a year. And with that data on demand up to a year, you can do very phenomenal searches that are different intervals of time, all the way down to 5 minutes. Now that's pretty ridiculous, but if you want to take a year's view and look at some data, find the trend that you're looking at, which in this case we've only got a year's worth of data on this, but let's go to the month view. So if we go to a month view here, we have 2 months with this particular client, and I perhaps want to see why this is a lower performing month. So once again, I'm going to highlight that, and now I want to go into a day view. Or let's take that step further and let's just go into an hourly view. But even with large clients, we can even go into 3-month views all the way down to the hour and look for patterns, whether they're weekday patterns, whether they're time of day or time of hour patterns. If we want to combine the view and look at overlapping patterns, or if we want to see those individual hours throughout the day span that we're looking at, and even all the way down to, as I mentioned before, 5-minute increments. Now, just imagine now, when you look at the dashboards and the metrics you're working with currently, whether it's with TCN or another client, if you can manipulate and choose your own KPIs and apply them to 5-minute increments, don't you think that you're going to have some insights that you've been blind to before or just haven't been available before? How many times has Bob gone on break in the past 5 minutes? How many times have we missed those inbound calls? Are we missing more inbound calls at the beginning of the day or at the end of the day? And what's contributing to that? What's our staffing look like? So once we have access to the data and the ability to present that data in the various formats, then that's where it gets really fun, and we can work with you to come up with the metrics, the hypothesis that will help you change the way you do business. Here's a couple more examples down here. We have some different groupings that are available. Basically, any data field that we have on the call center platform. So in this case, we're actually organizing the data by agent, and we've got some various scores that I think I've got a different metric here that I'm going to jump into for a second. So here's a secondary dashboard that's available, and these will be, they're all dashboards and insights that you can save and access. You can have variations of these, various iterations of those. You can span different time periods as well. And in this case, I have a tally pie chart showing the breakout of my results. Now, not just my disposition, my system disposition results. And by the way, this is what's going to be available in the standard iteration of business intelligence. And remember, we're going to have 2 iterations, a standard version and a pro version. The standard version is going to have default dashboards and insights that don't require a whole lot of personalization or configuration. The benefit of that is that you're going to be able to just jump right in, look at them, and know what they're doing and know what they're using, and without much training at all. In fact, the only training that our customer support team will be able to offer you is simple navigation and perhaps how to display and hide certain information that's showing on the screen. That will be the standard version, which is super powerful and will have, again, a very strong enhancement to what you're doing today currently on TCN Platform 3. But we do have the 2 versions, and the reason why we have the Pro version is because of things such as agent responses. So you can see here, and again, I'll go to this page here. This is a client that has, not only do they have system responses, but they have agent responses. So the agent is coding the disposition of each call. This gives incredible insight and functionality to TCN as a performance engine. It really does help to identify not only which agents are performing or underperforming, but how are you doing as a whole? Are you staying busy or are you being productive? There's a big difference there if you attended the last webinar that I gave. It's the difference of chopping wood with a bat versus chopping down trees with a chainsaw. Huge difference in efficiencies and profitability as well. But the professional version that we're going to offer does require configuration, and I'll just show you the back end of this. So it's simply a pie chart. This is probably a better view here, but we have quite a bit of configuration that would need to take place. For example, this is how we can tease out how many live conversations we are receiving on a per hour basis. So we have advanced filters that need to be configured, and these will change because all of my clients are not using the same agent responses. I wish they would get more standardized, and we do offer some best practice suggestions on how to get the most out of your agent responses so that you can really tell, are my agents having live conversations with people, or are they having dead air? Are they having live conversations with right parties? And then you can get into some really fun statistics and important statistics where it really, really hits the road and lets you see your per hour productivity and profitability. So how many calls per agent hour are you taking for each agent? How many of those calls are live conversations? And how many of those are right parties? And then additionally, you get into the pay dirt, right? Of those live conversations, how many are promises, how many are payments, how many are terms, how many are refusals? So you can quickly see how we, as TCN, as consultants, our job will be to work with you to understand what is your definition of success. What do you want to see, and how do we tell if your agents are succeeding or not succeeding? We understand how to show that to you. We just need to understand and work individually with you to look at your agent responses and to suggest some alternatives and some changes to really help you get the highest degree of visibility possible out of your call center platform and out of your business intelligence. Then you will have the tools that you need in order to see the information you want to see. For example, this is a great agent summary report showing productivity. There's many different metrics or KPIs in this example. I'll just highlight a couple of those. With the information that we're gathering, we've actually added a couple of formulas, and we've taken some assumptions. In this case, I think we took the assumption that on average your out-of-pocket costs for each agent hour is around the neighborhood of $12.50 per agent hour. Now, of course, this doesn't include your bonuses and things like that, but we add in your costs for your agents, we add in your technology costs, and we add in how much your RPCs are worth, how much your promises are worth. Now, I understand there can be some very complicated formulas out there, but even with some very simple assumptions, you're able to have some very, very good metrics that give you trend analysis. So for example, this is a day-by-day view, and I can see day by day how much each payment is costing me. So I have days with this client where a payment is costing me $83, and I have other days where a payment, to actually secure a payment, is costing $252. Now, this isn't accurate information, but you get the general idea. Not only on a day-by-day view, but if I want to come in here and say, you know what, I really have to see who are my top performing agents. It's just a very quick modification. In fact, we'll probably have a very specific dashboard for you, but now I can see, wow, why is Nita costing me $330 to get a payment instead of Alma that's costing me $55 to get a payment? This level of scoring is just ridiculously important. We're not talking just a ranking system that says, hey, this is your top 10 agents and this is your bottom agents. This can actually put numbers, almost net profit numbers, assigned to your agents. So you can see on an hour-to-hour basis who is performing and who is not performing and how much they're producing for you in your payments, how much are your costs for your promises, which are obviously less, and then some other metrics that we'll quickly talk about. I kind of love numbers. I'm kind of a geek that way, but there's some really fun metrics that we were able to come up with. Of course, the tallies of the total RPCs and the calls that they're fielding, but how many hours does it take? How many agent hours does it take to get a promise? Well, this agent, it takes 1.5 hours to get a promise, but it takes them 5.8 hours to get a payment. So they're very good. They're one of the top performers in getting promises, but you know what? They're not closing a whole lot of those conversations. So I know that I can count on this person to help me if my definition of success is to get a promise or terms. But if I don't get paid a dime until I get a payment, that's an individual that I'm going to come and work on, especially this, this person with that takes 21 hours to get a payment. There's something wrong there, and I'm going to investigate that. You can be sure of that. So again, this is just a snapshot. This is just a quick window into some of the things that we've been able to accomplish in a short time period. We have been working with a couple clients, but the real payoff here is when we get to work with you and work together to come up with your specific and personalized metrics for the time periods and to give you the intelligence to make the strategic decisions that you need to make, whether that's shift in schedules, or whether that's different allocation of, hey Dave, I've got 10 different phone numbers that we're calling upon. Which one gives me the best? RPC reach rate, or which one is actually costing me the least to run and to operate? So a lot of insights, a lot of information that, and looking at the time, we're getting short. I do want to cover some other quick things here. I want to quickly go back to the two packages that we're going to offer. The standard version is just going to appear on your account over the next 1 to 3 weeks. And it's just going to offer the standard, the best practice dashboards and insights with very little training needed to operate those. We're going to offer more specific webinars and support training on that as well. But then there's also going to be a professional version that really gets into the meat and lets you tell us what your definition of success is. And we help to accommodate what that looks like with your metrics, your insights, and the information you need, either for yourself or for your clients. Let me talk about the pricing on those two. First, the standard package, the standard offering that's available to all of our clients. That's going to give you access to 10 to 14 days worth of data points. Now, a data point is simply best defined as a call. Just think of it as a call. So that call or a call result, whether it's invalid or a connected call or a linked call or right party, whatever that call is, you'll have 10 to 14 days worth of data points to investigate. Best practice dashboards and insights will be available for you. You'll have some limited capabilities to personalize those, but really we don't want you to get lost without a guide in those. So they are going to be clean, and they are going to be effective and helpful, but perhaps you may want a little more guidance with those. And here's the amazing part, zero cost. We are giving all of our clients a very strong level of business intelligence and competitive analytics for zero extra cost. We just always want to differentiate ourselves from the competition. And the reason why we're doing this is because we absolutely know and have seen that we are the best inbound and outbound call center platform in the world. These tools, this business intelligence, will help not only you to see that, but it will help your C-levels, it will help your clients distinguish that fact in their minds that you are the best call center in the world with our tools. So we're going to give that to you for zero cost. Now, the professional version, that has two charges associated with it. The first is a one-time paid implementation and training fee. We expect we're going to have an initial evaluation and a conference with you where we discuss your needs and what you want to accomplish and what's possible. And we'll come back from that meeting and then present you some options for implementation and training to accomplish your goals with the initial setup. So that we expect that will range anywhere from $500 to $3,500. We'll just have to see how that plays out, but mainly that's just so that we have no qualms in rolling up our sleeves and giving you our best staff to drill into it and really have a very fantastic implementation to get you up and running and to hold your hand ongoing with the implementation of the data. The other charge is a monthly Business Intelligence Engine access charge. So this starts at 5/100ths of a cent per data point. So basically just think of 50,000 calls a month, times that by this figure, and then that will give you your charge. So it's extremely reasonable in comparison to what other tools are out there. Remember, the exporting of business intelligence, those tools that have all the cons that are associated with trying to transfer data back and forth and educate other parties back and forth, and don't have the nimbleness and flexibility and on-demand capabilities that we have. This is a very reasonable price. This is our starting price going forward. So if how that works is it basically for a given month, if you want to have access to 2 months or 3 months or a year's worth of data, we'll simply calculate on a monthly basis how many data points you're accessing or the engine has access to during that month and invoice you for that appropriately. Let's see here, any other points on that? I think I covered those points. Now's a great time. I know I've probably gone over a little longer than I intended. So this is a Q&A period. If you have any questions, I think you've been sending some of those to Bryce, and Bryce, if you'd like to queue some of those up for us. And please know if you have questions that you don't want asked on the air, please indicate that in your email and just send Bryce or myself a direct email, and we can handle any of the questions that we don't address right now. We can handle after the webinar.
Okay, Dave, yeah, thank you. We've gotten a few questions that have come in. The first question asks, in regards to the range, it said that there would be, for the free basic plan, it says a range of 10 to 14 days. Why is it a range instead of a set day, a set number of days?
That's a good question. Hopefully I explain that. I can explain that better this time around. So for the amount of clients that we have, the amount of data that we have, it is even though our system is very powerful and we have the scalability that we need for our clients' demands, the free no-cost version will need to have a limit on it so that we can offer it to our clients for free and no additional charge. The clusters of computers and the ability to keep those available and up, and all the safeguards and the capabilities that you're used to with TCN, just to add that as a product, because this completely is an absolute separate product offering that you would normally pay for separately and distinctly. But for us to allow that to our clients, we obviously want you to get the full benefit of it if you're so inclined, and get the pro version, the professional version. But we absolutely can guarantee you value with the rolling 10 to 14 days. And it is a rolling 10 to 14 days on the weekly basis. We'll have more information on what that means, but it will basically allow you to take care of the previous week or the previous incomplete week, so you can have those trend analysis and data comparisons to perform your duties. If you want to export that data and the reports and the dashboards that you're producing, where you can do that, and then you can compile your own information and you don't have to pay anything for that. So we'll have a little more information on just how that works with the 10 to 14 days shortly.
Let's see, the an additional question, I think it's been somewhat addressed here. It just says, will competitive analytics cost existing users anything additional monthly or yearly, which I believe you've kind of covered those costs.
So no cost for the standard, and then for the professional, there will be an implementation fee that's really kind of dependent on what each client would like to accomplish, the workload that it takes to get up and running and training and support them. And then, but really that's just a minor cost. And then there's the cost of the 5/100ths of a cent per data point.
How much data will you hold in the basic product versus the pro version?
Well, I guess that again, that depends on you as a client. We have some clients that are doing 1 million calls a day, and so we're going to hold 7 to 14 days worth of data that they can access at least over a week, probably a week and a half, and you know, depending on the day of the week, that might be 2 weeks worth. 14 days worth of 1 million phone calls. So that's quite a bit of data that we're holding for free at no charge to you that you can access on demand. And then on the professional, it just depends on, do you need to have quarterly reports? Do you need to have 6-month trend analysis? Do you need to have yearly analysis? What's going to make the most sense for you? What's going to you know, there's obviously a point where you're going to say, well, this is good enough for me, and perhaps I take snapshots every 6 months, and with those snapshots or with the specific insights that we collectively build, those 6-month snapshots, we're just going to track those so I don't have to have year after year analysis, or I don't have to pay for year after year data storage.
Another question that was asked is, with the separate predictive and manual only platforms, will this product marry your results of the 2 separate platforms in an automated fashion?
So read that one more time for me, so I make sure I.
With the separate predictive and manual only platforms, will this product marry results of the 2 separate platforms in an automated fashion?
Great point. So as far as the segmentation goes, it's so critical to the TCPA. Each account is a separate account with separate settings and separate access. As such, we will have separate insights and dashboards for those individual accounts. The good thing is that once you define a specific insight or dashboard that you like, it's very easy for us to copy that into a separate account. Additionally to that, the second iteration of BI, of business intelligence, we expect to be able to have a version of roll-up reporting that will allow you to then see both accounts and have that comparative data in a roll-up fashion.
Okay, thank you, Dave. That's all the questions we have at the moment. We will go ahead, and if you have any additional questions, continue to email them to me and we'll address those offline. We will have another webinar next month where we'll be covering some of our latest releases, and feel free to call into customer service, call in and talk to us, talk to Dave to ask any additional questions to address this product. We're very excited about its the information it's going to be able to give you, the insights it's going to be able to give you, and we look forward to working with you in the future. And we appreciate you taking the time to join us today, and hopefully it was beneficial to you. And we look forward to talking to you next month.